Hello everyone, this is your host Vaibhav. I welcome all of you to today's session of Daily Stock, in which we are going to consider the financial earnings for the first quarter of this financial year, that is 2024, to see if there are emerging opportunities for us to trade and invest in the shares of Visa Inc., which is the leading payment processors with operations in more than 200 countries, and it is the payment processor of choice for many of the international banks as well as retail client. Even myself, I am avid user of the Visa cards, and I have found them quite comfortable and easy to use on many of the occasions. We will now be looking at the financial earnings. So this is the Q1 earnings, and afterwards we will also look at the current share price of the Visa Inc. in respect of its recent fluctuations, and if there are emerging opportunities for us to trade. If we look at the highlights of the Visa's quarterly earnings, the net income has risen to almost $4.9 billion, and the EPS has also gone up. The revenue is on the higher side, and the only thing which is on the lower side is the company's expense, operating expense, and as a result of that, it has been able to enlarge its operating margin. The net revenue is also up substantially, almost 9 percentage point in year on year. The operating margin the Visa enjoys is tremendous. There are not many businesses in which you get this kind of operating margin, but then the Visa Inc. is the leader of the pack, you can say, leader in how these things are done, and we will be taking advantage of these services offered by the Visa Inc. as and when we will feel the need for these. Now, if we look at the income statement summary, you can see that the net revenues are up 9 percentage point, whereas the net income is up 17 percentage point. And I have already explained to you this point because there is reduction in the operating expense, but at the same time, there is increase in the net revenue. So as a result of that, there is double-digit growth in the net income for the last quarter of 2024. That is the financial year, not calendar year. I am considering here. For the technical side, you would always like to look at the income statement and the balance sheet. Along with that, we can also look at the cash flow statement. This is the fiscal first quarter 2024 highlights. It is not really of much use to us. Other notable items, you can go through these notable items at your own convenience whenever you have time, but do go through it because you will get many newer things to learn from this book. The outlook has also been provided, but I didn't really found it much convincing when I was on the yatra. Now let us consider the forward-looking statements, for which I think we will have to refer to the first quarter 2024 financial summary. So this is the income statement. The revenues were up, and the net income is also on the higher side. As a result of that, the earning per share has gained quite a lot. 20 percentage point growth is there in the EPS, and that is mainly because the operating margin has improved, and this efficiency is translating into higher profit for the investors and traders. The non-GAAP figures are there along with the GAAP numbers, that is generally accepted accounting principles. The key business drivers: payment volume is up 8% in constant terms, whereas 9% in nominal terms. The cross-border volume, excluding intra-Euro, is also up in double digits, 16 percentage points. So is cross-border volume total, which is also up 16 percentage point. The processed transactions are also up 9 percentage point. So there is this phase in the Visa Inc.'s share price along with its fundamentals, which are all positive, pointing northward, and I think we can rely on these numbers to see if there are opportunities on buy on dips which we can safely rely. Let us move forward to the next item on these financial earnings, and that is balance sheet. The balance sheet of the Visa Inc. remains quite strong. There has not been much use of cash and cash equivalent. So these cash and cash equivalent have been around on the similar size, but there have happened the share. Now I think cash and cash equivalent is identical. There is not much of a change. But if we look at the consolidated statement of operations, you will get to know where the money is coming from and where it is going. The operating expenses are all listed there. The total operating expenses are lower than the operating expenses of the same quarter a year back, that is 2024, and that has meant that the operating income is now touching almost 9 billion US dollar, of which not all the money is available to be distributed amongst the common shareholders. And for the common shareholders, the amount which is available is of 4,890 US dollars. Now we also have to consider the statement of cash flow, where the money is coming from and where it is going. The net income is there listed, that is US dollar 4.89 billion, and from there on we have this all the adjustments related to the operating margin, and that has reduced the net income available to the shareholders to just little over US dollar 3.6 billion. The investment numbers are also not that sound to be trusted blindly. So we have all these factors where only the operating profit, operating activity is providing for more than US $3.6 billion, and in other two segments, investment activities and financing activities, these are in the red with the cash flow happening. And in the financing activity, we have this cash and cash equivalent at the beginning of the period and at the end of the period. And if you see that there has been reduction in the cash available at the end of the period, simply because some cash has also been given to be used in the day-to-day functioning of the company. So this is how the company's fundamentals are looking like at the current juncture, and I think the company is in a quite a comfortable environment, and we can expect it to grow further. Now we will have to refer to the share price of the Visa Inc. to see how things are unfolding here. The Visa Inc. share price is lower by around 2 percentage points from the yesterday's peak, and this knee-jerk reaction is simply for the release of for release of these data, which we can then utilize to look for the favorable opportunities. Now, in this current environment, if you look at the Visa Inc.'s share price movement over last couple of weeks, there has been steady increase of around 5 percentage point in this month itself. And even if we go back in time, you will see that the Visa Inc. share price has been trading with the bullish bias for last couple of weeks. So things haven't really changed much, but we do need to be concerned because there has been sharp jump on the lower side. So right now it might not be really important and appropriate to go for the trade at the current juncture. But if we see that over next couple of days, that is 4 5 days, if we see the Visa Inc. consolidating and holding the ground closer to these US dollar 270 range, we will have other options, and in course of time we can indeed go for newer announcement, newer initiatives. Now if we have to look for opportunities to work with the setup, you will have to be meticulous and plan accordingly. Now on the short term horizon, the only thing which we can do is to adopt a wait and watch approach, because there has been sharp move in the Visa Inc. share price prior to the release of this earnings report, and after that it has jumped lower. So it will be interesting to see if it changes momentum and starts to rise again in coming sessions, if not in session or two. So this price range is likely to continue to make higher highs and higher lows for near term. Now we will have to change it to larger time frame, the daily time frame, which is the candlestick formation of choice for figuring out the opportunities in medium term. The Visa Inc. share price has been in bullish phase for last couple of weeks at the minimum, and at this juncture we won't be that confident that the momentum is likely to be sustained, and that is very difficult thing. And as a result of that, I feel, having seen this big rally in the Visa Inc. share price, it will be better for us to also sit on the sidelines and not really expect a sharp move on the higher side from the current levels, and we can't really bet on decline because there is this chance that the ongoing rally might continue further. So first thing which we will need for the newer trading decision is to observe how things evolve in these current setup, and if it holds the ground and we see that the Visa Inc. share price is consolidating closer to US dollar 270 range, we can indeed go for a newer trade with a larger time frame. So for medium term as well, we don't really have immediate trading opportunity. We will also need to adopt a wait and watch approach in the current environment. So for the short term as well as for the medium term, the opportunity is yet to come because there has been a big move already. So even if the outlook is of the bullish move, we still need to make sure that the risk reward ratio is also favorable. This is also one key price level which has been breached, and I feel that next time around, if and when some correction happens from this current phase, it should not really decline much. The price range around 250 should be acting as the near-term support on the lower side. And if it does that, then in course of time we can expect the current increment to kick in, and we can expect these bullish bias to last. So there are going to be opportunities for us to trade and profit if we see the Visa Inc. share price consolidating with this bullish bias. So the next stop which we will need to watch out for is around 250, and if it dips too much towards 230 and thereabout, then we will have to go for no trade. We will do well to simply opt out. So for short term, for medium term, as well as for the long term, the momentum is clear, but the entry point for the newer trade and investment decisions are not really that favorable at the current environment, and I feel we will have to be a bit patient here, and of course, as and when things are more favorable from the risk reward ratio perspective, we can indeed go for the initiation of newer trading decisions. So that's all from my side for the Visa Initial Price, in which we considered the fabulous bull run which it is having, and this bull run is not really showing any signs of turnaround at the current juncture, and that makes me wonder if it is likely to run again on the higher side. So we should be ready for that eventuality as well. Now it's time for me to wrap up the session. I hope you have found this session helpful for figuring out the opportunities to trade and invest. Now I'm signing off for the day, for the week. I'll be back on Monday with some other companies' share price to consider. So stay tuned. See you on Monday. Thank you all for joining in. Goodbye.